Right, Brian, I would please request you to stay on with me. New visuals have now emerged from the town of Katia La Mar, located near Venezuela's capital, Caracas. The footage allows a clearer assessment of the damage in the area, showing the condition of several houses and surrounding structures affected by the military action. While authorities have not yet confirmed how many people were injured or killed during the US operation in Venezuela, the visuals provide a stark picture of the destruction on the ground and underline the seriousness of the situation. Brian, we're also seeing that new visuals are coming in from Caracas, wherein you can see the extent of damage that the US's operation in Venezuela has caused. While the US has maintained that there has been no deaths, we have the Venezuelan government meanwhile saying that around 40 people were killed because of the US operation.
Well, yes, clearly, Venezuela leadership is clear against the very attack and the capturing of president, and they've said that around 40 people have lost their lives in this very U.S. attack. And yes, we are also flashing the visuals where it's shown that Venezuela being damaged, their homes, the civilian infrastructure have been clearly damaged following US attacks. And very importantly, it has also been made it very clear that till now the death toll still remains unclear, with authorities are yet to release an official figure as rescue and assessment operation still continues. But yes, Venezuelan leadership has clearly stated that around 40 people have been dead, have been killed in this US strikes that happened. But again, the real number of death toll, the real number of casualties is still yet to be issued by the government, by the administration. Yes.
All right, I would please request you to stay on with me, Brian. Now, according to reports, the developments in Venezuela will not have an immediate bearing on India's oil supplies or prices, but may open the doors to diversified sources in case the US can assert its supremacy in the South American country. Venezuela is said to have the world's largest oil reserves at around 17%, but output is low. It was the 20th largest producer of crude last year. Low investments have seen its production slip from peak of around 2 million barrels a day to around a million barrels, which is around 1% of global output. Additionally, the United States-led sanctions on Venezuela have meant that oil flowing into the global markets, including India, has come down. Experts agree that for India, the Venezuelan disturbance is unlikely to have any material, economic or energy impact. This comes as although India was a major buyer of Venezuelan crude in the 2000s and 2010s, and Indian firms such as ONGC Videsh held upstream stakes in the Orinoco Belt. Bilateral engagement has weakened sharply since 2019 due to American sanctions. Brian, we also have reports that there will be no immediate impact of all of this situation on India's oil supplies, also considering the fact that Venezuela, though despite sitting on the world's largest reserves of crude oil, its output is very, very low, with it producing just about 1% of the global supply.
Yes, clearly Indian government officials said, and even energy experts have said that there is no immediate impact on India's oil supplies or fuel prices due to the unfolding crisis in Venezuela. Officials also noted that US-led sanctions have already significantly reduced Venezuelan crude flows to global market, including India. Last year, Venezuela was India's 18th largest crude supplier. This year, it has slipped to 21st place, with imports between April and October totaling just over $300 million. And even the government official have been saying that they don't know how the things will play out, but there is no immediate impact as of now on India's supply. Not only that, researchers, experts have been saying that Venezuela's turmoil is unlikely to have any energy impact on India, noting that the bilateral oil agreement has weakened sharply since 2019 due to US sanction itself. Not only that, forcing India to scale back imports and upstream investment, like you mentioned, including the ONGC's exposure in the Orinoco Belt. It has also been stated the fact that rather cautioned that while direct supply are limited, the risk of direct supply are limited, the crisis could fuel market segment, triggering volatility in emerging market currencies, including the rupee itself. Not only that, it has been also been stated that Venezuelan oil re-enters global markets. Indian refiners should also consider diversifying supplies itself. And there are many experts who have been saying that there are short-term impact on global oil markets, and it is likely to be muted, as Venezuela crude has been largely absent due to sanctions and underinvestments itself, despite holding the world's largest proven oil reserves, about 17% of the global total Venezuela's output, it still remains very subdued at this point of time. And production has fallen from a peak of around 200 million barrel per day to about 1 million barrel per day, accounting for just 1% for global output. Again, between 2014 to 24, that is 10 years of gap, output declined by 10% according to what Energy Institute data has also stated, with experts also stressing that any meaningful recovery will require massive foreign investment in oil infrastructure. Yes.
Additionally, Brian, if we talk about the main scenario when it comes to oil, after the capture of Nicolas Maduro, how was it that the oil markets had reacted to this development?
I mean, I mentioned the fact that it was anyway very volatile at that point of time. After the capture, also, it will not have any broader impact, not only India, in the global market itself. It has reduced in a severe number by the sanctions and many other rules also that was given by the US itself. So it has weakened the bilateral oil engagement also between India, between the world, has also reduced due to US sanctions, forcing even other imports and upstream investments itself. So clearly, the problem is it was always there. And not only that, it has also been stated that if there is any impact, there would be a short-term impact on global oil market. And that is also likely to be muted itself, as even this crude, Venezuela crude, has even been largely absent due to many such under-investments, such sanctions also at this point of time. Yes.
All right, Brian, I would please request you to stay on with me. United States President Donald Trump has issued a direct threat to Colombian President Gustavo Petro and suggested that Cuba's government could also collapse in the near future. While comparing Venezuela with Colombia, Trump accused Petro of presiding over a failing state. He alleged that Colombia is deeply troubled and claimed it is run by a leader he described as sick. Trump went further, accusing Petro of encouraging cocaine production and facilitating its flow into the United States. All right, shifting focus now. Danish Prime Minister